I feel like I'm like KKW, you know? Alright, hey guys, what's up? I'm back here with another YouTube video. It seriously has been, I don't know, maybe like 6, 7, 8 months. I haven't filmed since kind of like the middle of quarantine. So I figured I'd come back here today and I'd film a video for you guys. So I get asked all the time about my powder, my setting my face routine, or like what I used to do to like bake and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. So as you guys can see, I already have my base applied. So like I said, my base is already applied. I'm just kind of just buffing out any of those like lines, things like that. So we're going to go into concealing, and then we're going to go into the whole powder setting period. Now you guys know my YouTube videos are always kind of all over the place, so just bear with me, and we're going to make sure that we get through this. So when I do my concealing process, I do it with a few different concealers. I use like a base concealer, and then I use kind of like a highlighting concealer. So for my base concealer, we're going to take the KKW concealer in the shade 11. I'm just going to apply that in my normal concealing spots that I would normally, you know, do. And usually once I do my concealer method and all that stuff, my foundation kind of evens out. Once I apply my blush and bronzer and highlighter and all that good stuff, it should just balance out. So bear with me, trust the process, we'll get there. So I do that, and I know that a lot of people say that this is kind of like outdated, but this is just the way that I like to do my face. Clock me if you want, I don't care. This is what I do, and it's what I think works best for me. So I was just kind of thinking, and I think that I'm gonna make this more of like a kind of chit chat update, what's been going on in my life kind of thing. So since my last video, I stopped being blonde for like 6 months. I had my real natural color. It was longer. Since my last video, I've been just really chilling. I kind of just like taking my time and just like figuring out what I like to do in life, figuring out what I want to do in life. I currently work for the state of Missouri as a unemployment claims representative. So that's been pretty fun and fresh. So I've been doing that. I really hate applying my concealer when you guys can see that, because like I always look like, you know, stupid when I do it, but it is what it is. Mercury is still great. For those who don't know, Mercury's my cat. He's still, you know, fun and fresh and living his best life. So there's that. But yeah, we have no complaints over here. I'm still roommateless. I am still without a boyfriend, of course. We all know this. We know I don't date, so nothing new with that. And currently we're in a snowstorm, so that's always fun and fresh. And you guys kind of see how like now like everything's starting to like balance out. Okay, like I said, trust the process. So once I do that with my KKW, I'm gonna take my Urban Decay All Nighter. Now, don't be alarmed. This concealer shade is a bit light, and yeah. But honestly, though, I finally found like the perfect highlight shade for me, because I can never find the concealer that I like enough that is gonna give me the brightness that I want without looking too like bright, you know. So now I'm gonna try that little viral TikTok hack that I saw everyone do. I'm gonna kind of just adjust it to like my own standards. So I'm only doing my concealer like this because I wanted to just balance out my foundation that is still a little bit too dark for me. And you guys know my foundation struggle has always been something that I've like struggled with, because I can never find a shade that matches me, because I'm in that weird like tan but not tan, medium but tan shade, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna blend this out. Like so. And we're gonna drag it up here to give us more of a fox eye slash like lifted eye, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna do that. And as you guys can see, that is kind of harsh. So I just take my beauty blender with any kind of leftover product, and I just buff out that harsh line to make it more of like a seamless blend. And I'll even do some down here too. Just 'cause I want it to be more seamless. And now you guys know that I like to work on my face in sections. So I take my, once I do one side of my concealer, I will take my powder. Today I'm going to use the Laura Mercier in Translucent Honey. we're gonna take that and we're just going to set. Before we set, we're going to buff out. Then we're gonna set. Now I know like baking is kind of like played out and no one really does it anymore, but this is just what I noticed that works best for me. It just makes my face the most flawless and seamless that it can be. So once that's done, I will move on to the other eye and follow the same step. So, you know, we are still going through the pandemonium and things are still closed. I want to know how you guys' states are with like quarantine and like restrictions. Like here in Missouri, in St. Louis specifically, we are open, but we're also closed. So like everything here closes pretty early. Like our bars and stuff close at 11. Restaurants are still at a limited capacity and everything still kind of sucks for the most part. Like quarantine has really taught me to appreciate my me time, but to also appreciate my friends, because like being alone as often as we have been kind of sucks, not gonna lie. Okay, so I have that blended out. And I'm gonna set pretty much my nose area and under my eye, anywhere that I put that concealer. Now I know you guys are like, give me on. This looks way too light. This looks botched, but I promise you, trust the process, and we'll get to where we need to be. Now we're gonna blend out my forehead highlight. Okay, that looks really bright, but I promise, again, trust the process. This video is already going horribly and I'm only 8 minutes in. I hate it here. So once I have that blended out, as you guys can see it's pretty light compared to everything else, but I'm gonna take my foundation sponge and I'm going to just buff out those edges to make sure that they look flawlessly blended. Now once I have that done, I'm going to take my powder again. I'm just going to set my forehead like so. Okay, so now that that has all been set, I'm going to take my powder, and today we're going to use the Sephora Collection Baked, what is this? Just their Micro Smooth foundation powder, and is in the shade Tan, and we're gonna use that to buff away all of the excess powder we have left over on our face. So I'm gonna take my Real Techniques, my buffering brush, take it on the powder, tap it off, and just wipe away that. Now this is actually really vital and key to having a very flawless like base, I guess that was the word I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna use this powder and just wipe anything that I have touched my setting powder with, just to, you know, further set and to just help with any flashback. And another reason why I hate doing videos like this is because I realize that I can't speak correctly. Like I trip over my words and I can never get my actual thoughts out. Like I am not very articulate and it shows. And then also, once all that is dusted away, I will take my setting spray of choice, which today I'm going to be using the Mario Badescu the Rose Water. I'm going to spray like so. Now, as you guys can see, it kind of helped even my face out. So, little foundation hack, I guess. And my skin looks pretty flawless, honestly. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup off camera. I'm gonna come back and just kind of go over the process again with you guys and share my final thoughts. So, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. My brows are done. So this is also a part of my setting powder tutorial hack thing, whatever you want to call this. I usually put setting powder on my smile lines because I smile and laugh a lot. So I put setting powder here and I do my brows, and then once my brows are done, I take my powder and I also dust that away as well. And that just kind of helps set my foundation where it won't crease or crack when I'm, you know, talking and smiling throughout the day. So there's that. And once I'm done with that, I take my bronzer of choice. And today we are going to be using the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in the shade 106 Tantalize. You guys know how I do my bronzer. I take my Morphe fan brush, dip my bronzer in there a few times, or dip my brush in there a few times, for any excess, and I just follow the hollows of my cheeks. Take this, and I'll just dust it along my temples. Look at all the foundation in my hair. Ugh, being blonde is not all it's cracked up to be. Wow. I'm going a little ham on this bronzer today, huh? But it's okay because we're just gonna dust it away and trust the process. Okay, so I take my buffing brush and I just blend all that out. BRB. So once I have all that blended out, I will just take my setting powder and I will just honestly cut that cheek. It just helps shape your contour. It helps just clean up any kind of harsh lines that you may have. After I do that, I take my powder that I use to dust away that bake, and I just take a big buffing brush, and I honestly just blend it all into my skin. You see how that just kind of shaped that contour, just cleaned it up a little bit? So I love doing that because that is just a great little tip and trick. But you see how that helped just chisel out my cheekbones and make them just look a little bit more defined? You know, something slight. YouTube is definitely not my day job, and it shows. Now, I know you guys are thinking, wow, that's a lot of powder, and I totally agree with you guys. So after I do that, I normally kind of spritz my face again. Then once that is done, I usually take my blush, and today we are going to be using the Black Radiance blush in the shade Toasted Almond. But I'm taking my IT Cosmetics, my blush brush, and I'm just going to apply that kind of on the high points of my cheeks. And I'm gonna go put the rest of my makeup on, my highlighter and my mascara, and then we'll come back and give you guys a final rundown. Okay, I'm back. I threw on a little bit of highlighter. I threw on this gloss that I'm currently trying out to see if I like it or not. So now that my whole 9 is done, I take my actual setting spray, which is going to be the Professional Super Setter. I got this in my gratis from Sephora. And we're going to be trying this out and seeing how it works. So now that I have everything on my face, we're going to take my setting spray and we're going to just lightly mist it. And that is pretty much it. So this is how I set my face. As you guys can see, everything looks pretty great. So I'm going to wear this around the house since I'm off work today and currently snowed in. And we are going to do a wear test and see how this holds up. So stay tuned for the results. All right, hey guys, I am back here with my check-in like I promised. It is nearly 11 p.m. I think, and I've had this on for a few hours. And as you guys can see, my makeup held up pretty well. There's very light crackage. Yeah. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this little video on how I set and bake my face. I'm probably never gonna do something like this again, but here we are. Here is some content finally, I guess. Yeah, I'm tired. I have work in the morning, so bye.